Hey, good morning. It's Dr. James. I do hope and pray this message finds you and your loved ones peaceful, thriving, and well. I have a great feeling you're going to totally connect with this message. And if you're like me as a spiritual aspirant, someone who's been on the spiritual path for quite some time now, you are no doubt familiar with the phrase and then practicing unconditional love. So I want to ask you, how is that going these days? Are you like me and you're going, oh my gosh, you know what? I can be pretty unconditionally loving with my partner, with family members, with people within my circle, my safe place. But once I get out of there, certain political leaders, certain political groups, certain things that are happening around the world today, well, you know what? That isn't so easy for me to be practicing unconditional love. And listen, I get it. It's really, really hard. So I've been working over these last few days and seeing if I can raise my vibration, raise my energy, raise my practice to be more loving in all conditions. So my new practice is all about being all conditions, being love. Being love in all conditions. And here's how it's working for me. Because I want you not to go, oh my goodness, so are you just, because I'm not. If you're so good at this, why can't you practice unconditional love? Well, you know what? I'm finding that to be something that doesn't seem to work like it used to, or frankly, once I get outside of my safety zones, it doesn't work at all, and I'm just failing. So I had to find a better practice, a more powerful practice where it was loving in all conditions. Because I think with digital media, and I think with the political climate, and I think with COVID and everything that's going on, there is just a lot of different conditions in this world. There's the condition of anger. There's the condition of discrimination. There's the condition of racism, which has been going on for a long, long time. There's the condition of marginalizing certain sexual orientations and certain genders and certain beliefs and certain values. There's just a lot of conditions that are now being brought to the forefront. And I do pray they're being brought to the forefront so we can work on them. And I think the only way we bring healing to each of them is to be loving in each of these conditions. To be loving in each and every single one of these conditions. So what I'm practicing is that when something comes up on digital platforms, something comes up out in the world, something comes up with a loved one or a family member or a friend, and it's not necessarily what I would find easy to be unconditional loving, I just say, oh, this is a condition that I want to bring love to. How about that, right? This is a condition that I want to bring an experience of light, an experience of openness, an experience of discernment, experience of awareness. All of these which are love. I think you're going to find this helpful. I think you're going to find this something that gives you an opportunity to not be like, oh my gosh, being spiritual and being in the space that I've practiced for so many years, maybe even decades, this idea about what it meant to be spiritual is to be unconditionally loving. I want to raise it to be loving in all conditions. Because I think with just the way the world is today, there are conditions that we are going to come up against. We're going to be in these conditions. Because I think spiritual people, we are warriors, we are healing agents, we are people who absolutely voluntarily lean into the uncomfortable places, and we give ourselves permission to say, you know what? In this condition, there needs to be some love. In this condition, there needs to be some awareness, some openness, some healing, some compassion. And I think with that experience of being love in all conditions, it helps us to soften. It helps us to see ourselves as students as we go through these different conditions and be a part of each of these conditions. Because what I'm learning more and more about being spiritual, I used to think, and I used to really believe this is what I was supposed to do. I wanted to go off to Nepal, and I wanted to go into the Himalayas, and I wanted to go in a monastery, and I wanted to be spiritual because the condition was super, super easy. It was peaceful. People were meditating. People were being kind. People were being Buddhist. I mean, my goodness, it's just like no attachment, right? What an easier path that would have been. And for all of us, probably, as we look at, oh my goodness, whether it's a monastic life, whatever your faith might be, just going into the woods, going into a space where you could just practice unconditional love because the conditions were predictably peaceful. Well, you know what? It's not predictably peaceful anymore. And it may not be ever again. But we're having an opportunity to rise up and create an evolution and using this as creating a revolution. And I believe the revolution happens when we believe ourselves into being conditions of love. Meaning your vessel, your life, this moment is a condition of love. That is the condition we bring into each and every condition. It may just be semantics on one level, but I think it's an opportunity for us to actually get a chance to have a reset and an opportunity to reevaluate and give ourselves the blessing of saying, okay, cool, I get it. There are certain conditions in my life that I wasn't used to being unconditionally loving in, and I was having a hard time. So now I'm going to give myself to identify the different conditions and just show up and be love. Because we can do that. We can do that. I know we can. I believe in you. I believe in us. And I believe this is a beautiful time to bring love into the conditions of life. Much love and every blessing. Thank you. Have an awesome day. Bye for now.